Welcome, writers. Today is October 30th, 2020. We will be discussing some more pre-writing strategies today in order to be prepared to write your letters. Before we get started, here's a list of materials you'll need. All you'll need is a pencil and your writing journal. If you don't have these supplies, go ahead and pause the video and then collect them now. All you're going to need is your pencil and your writing journal. Okay, welcome back. Let's move on to today's objectives. The writing workshop objectives for today are: I will explain what a formal letter is. Then we will recognize the parts of a formal letter. Then you will work on organizing your letter for proof of learning. Writers, it's almost time for us to begin drafting our letters. Yesterday, you had a chance to look at the rubric and see exactly what your writing should include. This is the rubric here in case you needed some reference. We're going to look at what a formal business letter should include today. Remember to always use this rubric as a reference for when you're writing your own letter. Okay, let's review the parts of a formal letter. A formal or business letter has 6 parts: the heading, the inside address, the salutation, the body of the letter, the closing, and the signature. Remember, the body of the paragraph has purpose. What is the purpose of your letter? The purpose. The specific request. What are you asking in your letter? And also a summary of your ideas. A formal letter uses a student's school address and is typed or written neatly with all 6 parts aligned on the left-handed side of the page. It is shown right here. Notice there are no indentations. The letter should be polite and use formal English and get to the point. I want to know more about how many wagon trains went west in a year along the Santa Fe Trail, and what the conditions were like for children along the Santa Fe Trail. In my online research, I learned that the Santa Fe Trail is called the Great Prairie Highway. It is now under the supervision of the National Park Service. I plan to ask for a list of books that have first-hand accounts of the trail. I'm going to write my letter to the National Park Service to ask my questions. All right, let's look at a formal letter together. As you read the letter, what do you notice about the tone and the word choices? Take a moment now to read the letter, paying close attention to the tone. Pause now to read over the letter and take note of the tone. Okay, now that you're back, did you recognize the tone of this formal letter is formal and that the letter is polite? I hope so. A friendly letter only has 5 parts: the heading, greeting, body, closing, and signature. A friendly letter uses informal language or indents in each paragraph. We use a friendly letter to write thank you letters. This is an example of, we use a friendly letter format to write thank you letters or write letters to our friends to tell them about our day or some time we're having in our lives. A formal letter, however, has a polite and formal tone. It contains all the parts we talked about previously: the heading, inside address, salutation, body, closing, and signature. The information is specific and to the point. Remember, when you're organizing your letter, if you did not research on a specific organization, you may write a formal letter to a fictional, that means made up, library, museum, or other organization. So you can create a fake name of a museum, library, or organization and a fake address. Make sure you include your date, the address of your school, and the name of your school. Then include the address to the place you are trying to reach and the name of the place you're trying to reach. Include your salutation, your body. Remember, ask those important questions. The purpose of your letter is because. Okay? Then at the end, you're going to write your closing and your signature. Now it's your turn. Take the time now to look over the Writer's Notebook page 4.7. I've included it here. You'll be completing this page today and working to organize your letter. As you can tell, the date is always placed here, just like it's structured in a formal letter. Then you will include the heading, okay? This will be the school's name and the school's address from where you're sending the letter. The inside address will include the place that you're sending it to. It can be a real or made up museum or historical society, and their address. Then your greeting or salutation will go here. In the body, you'll want to include all that important information, the purpose for your letter, the questions that you're asking. Get to the point. Then in your closing, you will write, with regards or sincerely, to close out your letter. Then you will want to include your signature. Don't forget, each one of these components is important as part of a formal letter. Make sure you're precise and to the point. Do not tell us about your day, but tell the person what you're asking of them. I would write how I want to know and what I want to know about all the different aspects of the journey. For example, I would ask, what were the conditions like for children moving along the Santa Fe Trail? And how many wagons went east in a year along the Santa Fe Trail? Went west along the Santa Fe Trail. Remember to ask those specific questions. I would like you to think carefully about what your letter will include while filling in this worksheet. Thank you for joining me today, and now go organize your letter.